let's work on writing equations of circles. Now to begin, let me remind you that the standard form of the equation of a circle looks like this. If your radius is r and your center is at hk, standard form of the equation of a circle looks like this. So let's jump in and come up with the equation of a circle. Here's the problem that we'll do. Write the standard form of the equation of a circle with center 22, negative 65, with radius 5 square root of 2. Well, we can simply use this formula, which says we have x minus the x coordinate, so x minus 22 squared, plus y minus our y coordinate, so y minus negative 65, that means we have y plus 65 squared equals, and we have this radius squared. Now generally we wouldn't present our answer this way, we'd probably simplify this. So let's do that. Let me remind you that 5 square root of 2 squared is 5 square root of 2 times 5 square root of 2. So we have 5 times 5 is 25. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. And that makes 50. So this equation can be equivalently written as x minus 22 squared plus y plus 65 squared equals 50. And if somebody asked me for the standard form of the equation of a circle, I would probably present it in that form right there. Let's do another one. Let's write the standard form of the equation of a circle with center 2, negative 3 that passes through the point 7, 1. So although we don't have to, I find it easier if I just draw a picture of it. It gives me a sense of what this problem looks like. So let's just draw a rough sketch. So the center is at 2, negative 3. So 1, 2, negative 3. Here's center. And the circle passes through the point 7, 1. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So here's my center. This point is on the circle. So I'm going to draw myself a very rough, that is about as rough as you can get. This is my center. This is the radius. Pretend that's a circle with this at the center. But this is my point 2, negative 3. This is my point 7, 1. And I'm trying to find the equation of what should be a circle right here. Well, remember, for standard form, I need two things. I need the center, which I know, and the radius, which wasn't provided. But we have 2 points and that are at the endpoints of this radius. So we can use the distance formula to find r. So r equals the square root of, and we're just finding the distance between these 2 points. Remember, it's x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So we have 1 minus negative 3 squared. So here's the value of the radius. Let's continue to simplify. So we have 5 squared, which is 25. We have 4 squared, which is 16. So we know our radius is the square root of 41. So now we have what we need to write the standard form of the equation. Make sure we use center here. So x minus the x coordinate squared plus y minus the y coordinate squared equals the radius squared? Well, if we take the square root of 41 and square it, we just have 41. And our problem is finished. Let's do one more. Again, we're being asked for standard form of the equation of a circle. This time we're being given endpoints of a diameter. So again, I'm going to sketch it. And remember, my sketch wasn't very lovely, but it still helped me think through the problem. So I have -4, 3, -1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's a point on the circle. And I have -2, -5. -2, -5, -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the endpoints of the diameter of the circle. So the circle could look something like this. A little bit better than my previous one, still not beautiful, but this would be the diameter of the circle, or one of the diameters. Remember, the diameter of a circle always goes through center. So I need this point right here, and I need the radius. Neither of those things were provided. So let's start with the center. This is the point -4, 3. This is the point -2, -5. And again, the picture doesn't have to be lovely in order to still help me figure out what's happening. I see these 2 points. I know I need the midpoint. Remember, the midpoint you can find by averaging the x values and averaging the y values. So center, which is at the midpoint of this line segment, is the average of -4 and -2. -4 plus -2 divided by 2, right? To average two things, we add them together, divide by 2. Similarly, we'll average 3 and -5. 3 plus -5 divided by 2. So I have -6 divided by 2. That's -3. And 3 plus -5 is -2 divided by 2 is -1. So the center of this circle is at -3, -1. So I missed it a little bit. Should be a little bit further over here at -3, -1. And notice, -3 is halfway between -2 and -4. And -1 is halfway between 3 and -5. So let's label this center at -3, -1. But as with the previous problem, we need to use the distance formula to find the radius. And you actually have a choice of how to do it. Sometimes people find the diameter and divide by 2. I find often when people do that, they intend to divide by 2 but forget to do that. So I prefer to find the radius directly, and I can do that using the center and either of those points on the circle. So the radius will equal the square root of, and I'll use these 2 points right here. So I have -4 minus -3 squared plus 3 minus -1 squared. And when we simplify, we have -1 squared, which would be 1. 4 squared, which is 16. So the radius is square root of 17. So our standard form for the equation of this circle is x minus -3 squared plus y minus -1 squared equals square root of 17 squared. And we have our standard form for the equation of the circle.